talk about why productivity is an absolute scam. All right. And I know I might catch some heat for this because there's a lot of people that just solely depend on their morning routine, on their productive schedule in the morning. And that's totally fine. I'm trying to shift a paradigm here. And when you start shifting worldviews, people lose their shit. Okay. Now, with that being said, this is completely subjective, right? Obviously, there's people out there that have a morning routine that probably works for them in their dedicated field or whatever it is that they do. Not going to disregard that by any means. But it's important to note that there are people that understand this concept that I'm about to explain to you when it comes to harnessing your energy throughout the day. All right. So let's dive over to one concept that I believe is holding you back and the one that we're going to replace it with in order to actually see results within your day-to-day. Let's jump over. So, first thing, you're probably doing the following, right? You probably wake up in the morning, you probably go and have a shower, right? And then you probably go to the gym. Let's say that's like maybe an hour or so, right? Depending if you have to drive to the gym. Most people do, right? You come back and eat. All right, so let's just take this from waking up to going in the shower. Let's give that about 10 minutes. Then you got to go to the gym. Let's say it's a 5-minute drive and being conservative. And then you do an hour at the gym. You come back and eat. Let's say you got to make like your breakfast or whatever, unless you have something quick to eat. All right. We can round this up approximately starting to hit like an hour and 30 into your morning, right? Maybe even more. Okay. Then you got to get ready. You got to decide what you're going to wear for the day. Some people come ahead and go and they meditate or journal, right? And they sit there for like 20 minutes or whatever, writing their day. And then ultimately it takes them about like 15 to 30 minutes just to get into a flow state. And we can even add in other things, like people do yoga in the morning, or they do some reading, or they check emails and all this stuff before they dive in. And this just becomes like you're expending so much energy doing all this shit first thing in the morning instead of actually using your energy to do the most productive thing in the day, right? So you're saying that this is your morning routine. I'm not saying it's you specifically, but most people make up their morning routines out of this stuff here, right? And it's taking up so much time. And then what people do is they like to use it as a crutch, right? Oh, well, I can't perform until I've had my coffee, or oh, I can't perform until I've meditated, or I can't perform until I've gone to the gym first thing in the morning, or whatever, right? And like I said, this is completely subjective. Maybe the only time that you can go to the gym is in the morning, okay? Totally fine. Or maybe the only time that you get 15 minutes to yourself is to meditate first thing in the morning, whatever, okay? What I'm telling you is that people that make up this huge conglomerate of a morning routine and say that it's adding to their productivity and getting them to where they need to be, I just don't buy it, right? I really don't buy it, because if we come down here, we really just need to realize our energy, okay? So if we look at energy A over here, right? You have your energy, and then you have the outputs of your energy throughout the day, right? They go all in these different directions, right? You do the gym, you do the meditation, you do the journaling first thing in the morning, you do yoga, whatever, reading, okay? You're checking your texts because people are texting you or emailing you, right? Your energy is going everywhere, okay? And whether you believe it or not, this becomes death by 1,000 cuts, because you're expending so much energy at once and in multiple different directions that you're now becoming too tired and less energetic, dedicated, and focused. Maybe not dedicated, but I should say focus is the best word, to put your energy into the right thing, the highest leverage or the highest revenue generating activity that's going to help you move the needle forward, okay? And believe me, I've been through this myself, okay? I had to realize this, and fortunately, I learned this early on in my entrepreneurial career, okay? Next, we go to energy B, where if we just got up, right, we took this energy first thing in the morning, we put it in the most important task into the day, just one direction, one thing that we had to focus on to move the needle forward, okay? And then let's say when you scale up and you get your time back and everything like that, let's say you're not the one who's solely dependent in the business or whatever it is that you're doing, then you can go back to like having a more kind of robust morning routine, if that's what you want to call it, to make you feel productive or whatever, to make you feel rejuvenated in the morning, okay? But if you're in the beginning stages, right, let's say you're trying to get to like 6 figures a month or whatever, and you're here, you need to be focusing on one thing at a time, okay? First thing. So if we go, and like I said, we look at energy A, okay, this is going to lead to structuring a busy work mentality and slowly moving the needle. What do I mean by a busy work mentality? Well, throughout the day, people say like, oh, well, I do this, like I'm just so busy, like I don't have time for anything. And the truth is if you audited your time and you took a look at where your energy was going, well, no wonder you feel like you're doing everything and getting all this work done. But the reality is you just did a majority of this that took up a majority of your energy to start the day, right? You expended all this energy and you feel like you have all this stuff going on, and then you translate all of this stuff into your day-to-day, where you have energy going text here, someone's interrupting you here, you're checking your phone, checking social media, you're scrolling on YouTube or whatever, and maybe you're doing a little bit of work here and there, and then it's like sporadic, right? This leads to busy work and not productive work, right? Whether, again, you go over to energy B, well, let's look over here. You have a singular focus and you're moving the needle at a greater scale over a compounded period of time. If you just did one thing that you knew was going to get you the best results first thing, then that is what you need to focus on. So I have an example of this. If you search up Craig Ballantyne, he's actually the author of the Perfect Day Formula and the Perfect Week Formula and another book that's escaping me at the moment. And first thing that he would do is he would wake up 15 minutes earlier in the day, right? And immediately start writing his book. And over a compounded period of time, he had a book ready, done, and published within, I think it was like 90 days or something like that, which people take like a year, like way more. And again, this is a best-selling book. This is a really it's not like it's just something that was just thrown together with low effort. Every single day, he put his most creative time and energy and his highest output into writing his book that became a bestseller, and it teaches other people how to structure their time and be productive, right? Which is another example of this is people that they start journaling their day, start writing out their day that morning. And you don't have an idea as to what the fuck is going on in your day that morning. You start guessing, right? You never want to guess. I have this red book right here. This tells me what I'm doing every single day without fail, right? And then I write all my wins. I have it charted down, right? Every single day. I know exactly what's happening, but I do this the night before, okay? It's called planning for tomorrow today, right? You have to plan. I'll write in this again tonight before I go to bed. I'm going to write out what Monday's going to look like tomorrow, okay? It's going to be ready to go, so I know as soon as I get up, I come right to my desk, I drink some water, I sit down, maybe have a little bite to eat, go get some sunlight, and then the first thing I do is I jump here, and I know exactly what I'm doing for the day, and I jump into my highest leverage activity, which is a singular focus, right? And what does that look like? Well, that could look like, well, really anything, right? It's your most important task. That could be creating leverage, creating assets, having conversations with people, doing outreach, booking calls, revenue generating activities, things that are going to move the needle forward, right? And I like to call this the Billionaire's Concept, right? So instead of having this huge, like I said, this huge conglomerate of just a fucking mess of a morning routine, right? Again, you can get to this one day where you can take your foot off the brake a little bit and, you know, let's just say like you can spend more time when you have it back really to put it towards stuff like this. So that's what you want to do. You want to do the cold plunge, the red light therapy, all that stuff that's like really popular right now. Sure. But if, like I said, you're trying to get to that like 100K per month type of mark and you really want to build something big, well, you got to be focusing on your biggest task, one singular focus, right? So let's just say what you want to do is wake up, quick 5-minute shower, get ready, and ideally, like most if you want to like actually look at billionaires, look at like Mark Zuckerberg. This guy wears the same shit every day. Like it's a black t-shirt and a pair of pants, right? I'm sure he has multiple pairs of this stuff, but he doesn't have to suffer from decision fatigue and guessing what he's going to wear that day. And then when he goes to eat, if they eat in the morning, some of them put off till lunch, but if they do, they're not making their food, they're not sitting there cooking or maybe even having somebody else cook and have to wait on the food. They know exactly what they're going to eat consistently, right? They have a consistent meal. Maybe it's like a protein bar or smoothie or something that's quick, easy to make, and they know exactly what they're going to eat that morning, right? And then they get right focused on the task at hand, okay? So this might take maybe 20 minutes out of the morning. Get up, get some sunlight, get a shower, get something to eat quickly, clear your mind, and then come and focus on the highest leverage activity. Get into the trenches and get to work and create abundance, create wealth, all right? So this, ideally, is what you need to be following. Look, I know for some people it might be a tough pill to swallow where you're gonna be like, man, this morning routine works so well for me. And the truth is, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't try something like we explained here today, you might never be able to actually see how much you can really produce or how much output you can really start to gather and put out into the world, whether it is that you're an artist, a musician, you write songs in the morning or paint or whatever it is that you do. The first thing that you do when you get up in the morning that you worry about is how can I put the most effort and focus into the biggest thing that's going to give me the biggest return. The most important task of the day needs to be done first, right? Put your focus there, and I promise you, over a compounded period of time, give it even like a month, you're going to start to see results, and it's going to be immense. So try it out, or you can go ahead and flame me in the comments, whatever works for you, doesn't matter. But if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, comment any questions down below, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.